Hey everyone, today, Lanson is heading to Indian version famous cave. Check out the view from my hotel window. The caves in India are more beautiful than China's. Reason is pretty simple. Buddhism originally came from India.
Have you ever noticed that whenever communist media mentions Tang Senzang, they always emphasize how impressive his journey to the West. But they avoid to mention that the West actually refers to India. They also never mention that India's philosophy was ahead of China for a long time. Sometimes I admit, communist brainwashing techniques are impressive. They make people focus on one narrative while completely ignoring the other. And the people just follow with it without questioning. I absolutely hate authority tried to imprison my freedom of thought. Since China deliberately avoids letting me know about Indian philosophy, I decide to explore it myself. That's why I'm here to see these rock caves.
Okay, thank you. 这是个 bus station, aurangabad 的 bus station.
I guess you could say I've truly stepped into the heart of India now. Wow, here is very old school. Look like my childhood hometown. When I was still in Mumbai, the communist supporter kept mocking me, saying I didn't have the guts to interact with India's lower classes. So today, I decided to take a local bus to sightseeing with the people of India. The irony is, I've never claimed to believe in communism, yet I'm willing to be with the people. Meanwhile, the so-called Serve the People party members sit in a C rooms, and their job is to attacking me, who's actually out there exploring and seeing things firsthand.
Bus ticket.
This city bus, this is not bus.
Outside.
I should be hurry.
Ellora Cave. Ellora Cave. How much? Ellora. 算了，我站前面。It's okay. To the cave, right? Cave. 中午时。
The bus is so full, but it's still waiting people. Using this method to go sightseeing is more tired. Finally, it starts. Until now, my feeling is okay. The people is quite nice to me. They never close this front door. So I'm going to sit here to save my energy. Guys, I never do this in my whole life. It's interesting. I can lean on here, make my camera more steady, so I can film the scenery along the way. I just saw two bro lying on the roadside, sleeping right on the ground. This bro noticed me filming, and since he wasn't wearing a helmet, he gave me a shy little smile. But if this happened in London, there's a high chance this guy would shout at me, saying, "You're infringing on my image rights." And if in Iran, he probably come to beat me directly. I never use stereotypes. Everything I've described above is based on my own experiences. I've seen it twice.
Next stop.
Now I am like Jack in front of Titanic. It's a bit dangerous, isn't it? But he will never close the door. I use my butt to lock myself more steady. See, it is perfect to film from here. In the past few years, the general public in China have a very twisted behavior, because their income and standard of living have stagnated. They seem to take pleasure from finding the poorest places all over the world, to mock them without any sense of restraint. They also think that their moral flaws will not be noticed by the outside world, because China's internet has walled, and CCP allows them to mock the poor. It creates an environment where this behavior is tolerated and even encouraged. I'm here in India, capturing footage firsthand. If I also turn my footage into a mockery video, I will have millions of followers inside China's walls by now. But instead of doing this, I've spoken out against this toxic narrative in China. That's why I've got banned by the communist. To be honest, I find the air here incredibly fresh. It reminds me of the scent in New Zealand. It seems that in rural India, aside from the areas affected by human activity, where there's a bit more trash, most of the region remains unpolluted. This is how I've seen through communist tricks. Their camera focus only on areas filled with garbage. While this fresh, peaceful rural life of India, I've never seen it in my life. Now that I've seen these beautiful scenes with my own eyes, if I tried to share this video inside China's internet wall, I only get 1,000 views. But the same video on YouTube? It could easily reach 500,000 views. This is the power of China's Great Firewall. It can suppress any unwanted mindset by algorithm. You're allowed to upload it, but no one will ever see it. I can smell the scent of cow dung. Everything feels so fresh and natural. This is Daulatabad Fort, formerly the capital of the Yadava dynasty, 9th to 14th century AD, and an incredibly well-fortified stronghold. Once you venture deep into the heart of India, it's remarkable so many historical sites you encounter. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough time to explore them all. There's a gate left behind. I guess was part of the outer wall of the former capital. There are a lot of repair shops here, like you'd see on the roads of China's county towns. That's why I say the mindset of the Chinese public is deeply distorted. Many areas in China look similar to India, but they use the architecture in Beijing and Shanghai to compare with India's rural areas, just to get a temporary sense of superiority. It's really stupid. Look, people in India can freely participate in religious processions, but in China, such activities are strictly prohibited. Communist has long aware of the discontent among the people. They fear that even a simple religious celebration could evolve into a Gandhi-like movement, or repeat 1989 again.
Ellora Cave.
It seems like I'm the only foreigner who took the bus to get here.
How much?
50.
50.
Hello, you want lime soda?
馬騮 Government of India Archaeology.
This is big sir. Inside baby elephant. This is handball. Single row. No joint. This is all the stone. This is the inside baby elephant. This small like this.
How much?
1,000. This is 1,000. Good for this. You told me this.
Yes, it's okay. Thank you.
You told me this is no problem.
Ellora Caves are located in central India, about 30 kilometers northwest of Aurangabad, in Maharashtra. There are 34 caves in total, including 12 Buddhist caves, 17 Hindu caves, and 5 Jain caves. No need for a tour guide here. The site provides detailed explanations in English. You can see 3 religions coexisting in one place, flourishing side by side. It really shows India's incredible tolerance and open-mindedness. In many countries, even different sects of the same religion end up fighting each other. The modern entrance leads you straight to Cave 16, which is grand opening. Cave 16 represents the pinnacle of Hindu architecture, an iconic masterpiece in world architectural history. Built in the 8th century, it stands at a towering 33 meters. The design of this temple is meant to represent the residence of Lord Shiva, featuring niches, pillars, windows, and flying eaves. It's incredibly detailed and beautifully crafted. Turning my head, I can't help but think how truly magnificent this is. This is the process of carving the stone, from top to bottom and from the outside in. Here, you can see the side of the cliff that hasn't been carved out yet. Many of the massive statues depict scenes of sensuality, which is a unique aspect of Indian culture and art.
从古到今这个性爱的。这里可以看到它是没掉漆的部分。这些周边的小神也很有意思。China。这有种像《西游记》那种感觉啊，他说 episode， 一个故事。
There's a little squirrel. I'm guessing no one else noticed it. My eyesight is just good.
太可爱了，真的好像西天取经路上的妖怪啊，什么金毛老鼠还是什么的，然后回到他的山洞的感觉。
The spot where this little squirrel was just sitting gives me the impression that it could have been one of Buddha's disciples.
Hello, are you from China?
Yeah.
Indian people here have been quite friendly towards me, a Chinese face.
你看这些大象的一个面部也是遭到了破坏，这边不断的漏水，山泉水再渗下来。
The second floor is all covered up with metal for protection. The view from this angle is just perfect. The rain falls like willow catkins, gently drifting down. Many people in India still using Nokia from 20 years ago. Their stage of development is completely different from ours. Why those communists have to hate them? Indian people never shown me any hostile. As I continue exploring India, I'm realizing more and more that the so-called hatred between two countries is entirely fabricated by communist media. They create and distribute this narrative, polluting the minds of Chinese. This kind of hatred doesn't strengthen their own people, nor does it harm India. It's nothing but a loser mentality. If you don't regularly read simplified Chinese media, you never feel any hatred from foreign countries. They always come up with endless excuses, like America's endless desire for dominating China. For every country in the world, they can make up some reason to hate. In the end, they are the actual source of hatred. That's why I often encourage young people in China to go out and see the world. 90% of the Chinese I meet, while traveling, are immune to communists' brainwashing. However, we, the people who woke up, is less than 10% of the population when we return to China. Next, I'm heading over to check out the main temple on the other side.
他们可能也就是这看一眼。这个主殿还要脱鞋。
These people are sitting on the ground here, fully immersed in the experience of their Hindu culture.
挺好的 ，underrated。哦 ，OK。
Show dancing.
OK。
Eatable plus.
Main temple is called the Painted Palace. After it was built, it was plastered and painted, with a rectangular layout. 7-meter-high base is decorated with life-sized elephants and mythological figures. It depicts two great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. On the ceilings of the foyer and the main hall, there are hanging roses and dancing depictions of Lord Shiva.
各位，这太神秘了。
Honestly, this experience is way better than Egypt, in my opinion. That's because this culture is closely related to the Mahayana Buddhism that India passed on to China.
符号咱们都是熟悉的，这是我的影子，我的影子也蛮有戏的。看这个，一个菩萨。最近我看 B 站有人讨论说，菩萨有的什么鱼篮观音啊，然后有色情的意味啊，什么有那个女菩萨那种感觉哈，肉体现身啊什么什么的。你看，在这里也能找到一些原型。 表示对动物的尊敬，其实也挺好，因为它养了我们嘛，每天吃那么多羊肉啊，对它致敬一下。这个角度很帅哈。
Hi. Which country?
China.
China? Yeah.
When communists say, Indians hated us first, where does this come from? Think about it. Could it be possible that you start hatred first? It's like a thug who provokes others, causing a negative reaction. And then he accused the other party of being intolerant enough. Communists always dream about Chinese surpassing English in global influence. But first, ask yourself, do you have the same level of open mind? In English, I can criticize the US and UK freely. But do I dare to criticize you know who in Chinese? You can try,